The morning shift at the Blue Ivy Cafe was always hectic. Waitress Lena Carter, 24, balanced trays of coffee and croissants with tired but practiced grace. Her hair was tied in a neat bun, though a few strands escaped to frame her kind, gentle face. She worked hard double shifts, night shifts, whatever kept the bills paid and her little brother fed. Their parents had died in a car crash 5 years ago, leaving Lena to raise him alone. Life was tough, but she carried a quiet strength that even exhaustion couldn't dim. That morning, a group of sharply dressed men entered the cafe. But the man in the center, tall, gray-haired, wearing an expensive tailored suit, instantly caught everyone's attention. The staff whispered his name like a secret. That's Richard Hamilton, the billionaire CEO of Hamilton Industries. Lena didn't recognize him at first. She only saw a tired man with eyes that carried too much pain. She smiled politely and walked over with her notepad. "Good morning, sir. What can I get for you?" Richard barely glanced up. "Just water. Cold." Lena nodded and brought it quickly. As she placed the glass in front of him, the sunlight streaming through the window caught something around her neck, a small silver heart-shaped locket. The CEO froze. His hand trembled slightly. His sharp, business-hardened eyes softened in shock. Where did you get that necklace?" he asked, voice suddenly unsteady. Lena looked confused. It was my mother's." "Why?" Richard's face went pale. His voice dropped to a whisper. "That necklace belonged to my daughter." Buried truths. The cafe fell silent around them. Lena stared at him, unsure if he was joking. I think you're mistaken, sir. My mom gave this to me before she passed away." But Richard's eyes never left the locket. He leaned closer. "Open it," he said quietly. Inside the locket was an old, faded photograph, a picture of a little girl with pigtails smiling between a man and a woman. Lena had always assumed it was her parents when they were younger, but now, Richard's eyes filled with tears. "That's me, and my wife. And our daughter, Emily." Lena's world tilted. "That can't be. My mother's name was Sarah Carter. She said my father died before I was born." Richard's face went pale. "Sarah Carter." He closed his eyes, breathing heavily. "Her name wasn't Carter. It was Sarah Hamilton, my wife. She left after the accident." Lena felt her knees weaken. "You mean?" Richard's voice broke. "You're my daughter, Lena. Emily Hamilton." Tears welled in Lena's eyes. "No. My mom would have told me she would never lie to me." But deep down, something in her heart cracked open, the unanswered questions, the missing pieces. Her mother had always avoided talking about the past, always kept that locket close. Richard's bodyguard stepped closer, but Richard raised a hand to stop him. "I lost you when you were 5. Your mother disappeared after the crash that took your little sister. I spent 20 years searching." His voice trembled. "And now you're serving water in a cafe." Lena's breath hitched. The cafe around them blurred into a haze of noise. She wanted to run, to scream, but instead she whispered, "If this is true, then why didn't you find us sooner?" Richard's eyes glistened. "Because your mother changed her name, moved across the country, and left everything behind, even me." Lena's heart pounded in her chest. She wanted to believe him, yet the years of struggle, loneliness, and grief built a wall around her. Blood and forgiveness. 2 weeks passed before Lena agreed to meet him again. A DNA test confirmed the truth. She really was Emily Hamilton, the billionaire's long-lost daughter. Richard invited her to his mansion, the same house she had once lived in as a child, though she had no memory of it. The walls were lined with photographs, but one in particular made her stop. A little girl wearing the same silver locket. "That's me," Lena whispered. Richard stood beside her, his voice thick with emotion. "You were 5 when the car crashed. Your sister didn't survive. Your mother couldn't bear the grief. She thought I blamed her. So she took you and disappeared. I never stopped looking." Tears rolled down Lena's cheeks. "She told me my father was dead. I guess she was protecting me from something." Richard sighed. "From me, perhaps. I was a different man then, too focused on money, too angry to see my family slipping away." Lena looked up at him, this man who was both a stranger and her blood. "I don't know how to be your daughter." He smiled weakly. "Then let's just start with coffee instead of water." She laughed softly for the first time in weeks. From that day, their meetings became frequent. They talked, argued, cried, and slowly, the years of silence melted. Richard sponsored her brother's education, insisting he was family too. Months later, when Lena visited her mother's grave, she wore the locket proudly. Mom, she whispered, I found him. I found the part of you I never understood. Behind her, Richard stood quietly, placing flowers beside hers. Thank you, Sarah, he said softly, for keeping her safe. And for the first time in decades, a father and daughter walked away not as strangers but as family reunited by fate, forgiveness, and a simple glass of water.